Oh boy, it's going to be difficult because yeah, hype for this game is insane. But yeah, mind to say some things whether it will hurt someone or not, because I guess that's my job. So yeah, in this video we're going to be discussing whether Manor Lords actually worth to buy or not, without any BS, and straight to the point. So without further ado, let's just get it started. And as always, as every single one of my videos, I'm going to be giving you the answer right away and tell you whether Manor Lords is actually worth buying or not. And the answer is, well, yes, absolutely, if you understand what early access is and expect every single thing that comes with early access. Because yeah, this game is not done. This game is far from being finished, and if you want the finished game that you can sit down and enjoy for a really long time, this is not it just yet. And let me explain. And I guess I'm one of very few people who's saying this because almost everyone else is just simply gushing about this game. And yeah, I can understand them, but yeah, hard truth should be said. Now, what is Manor Lords? Contrary to the popular belief, Manor Lords is not a Total War alternative. Yeah, I know a lot of people are comparing this to Total War, but devs themselves in their messages specifically said that this game is not trying to compete with Total War. And yeah, it's actually not even that. It's close to the other real-time strategies than to any grand strategy or to Total War games. In this game, you're playing as the medieval lord, basically. And yes, you actually have your character that you can choose to walk with in a third person in your town. And your goal is to build basically a medieval town and live your medieval fantasies, I guess. The premise is extremely simple. Where game actually shines is in its gameplay. And the entire gameplay is based on the people that live in your town. Because every single thing that you're doing needs to be done by someone. Meaning that you cannot issue a command and magically a building appears on this place. For example, when you issue the command of building, the only thing that will happen will be that the plot will be prepared. The rest, all the resources and all the building needs to be done by hand by the townspeople. And that's actually pretty cool. Also, that means that every single thing, every single production will require people to do so. And technically, you're not controlling every individual people, you are controlling the households or families, if you want to call it. So basically, you assign families to different jobs on different sites, or if you don't assign them anything, they will just become regular builders. And yeah, it just plays. The gameplay-wise, game has a year cycles. Basically, time passes in the game, and depending on the season, different things will happen. And this mainly plays a role in food cycles. Because yeah, the main resources that your village will require is the food and the fuel, at least in the beginning. Food to not starve and fuel to not freeze when the winter inevitably arrives. And gameplay loop usually consists of gathering enough food to survive winter, getting enough fuel to get everyone warm, and then get enough commodities for the people to for the town to basically develop. Like for example, in order to keep your townspeople happy, you need to have a diverse food, you need to have a marketplace where people can purchase this food, you need to have accessible clothing, access to church, access to trading, and things like that. And yeah, gameplay is pretty fun, and as you progress through the game, more and more things unlock, the town will become larger and larger, and the game becomes quite fun. And yeah, unlike many other towns building games, this game has a combat as well. And the combat plays very similarly to everything else, because yes, soldiers need to be actually recruited from your townspeople, and usually the men from those families will be recruited as soldiers. And you also need to equip them, meaning that you need to give them weapons and armors, and weapons and armors can actually be traded and built within different shops. And when the time will come, you can rally those troops and they will leave their jobs and prepare for battle. And you will need to battle quite a lot because the map is riddled with bandits and the troops of your enemy factions. And actually, yeah, there is an enemy factions that you can negotiate with, and there is also rudimentary diplomacy as well. As for progression wise, game has progression systems as well. You can actually progress your town by satisfying the needs of your villagers, and then you can actually progress through the technology tree and unlock different technologies, different perks, and progress in a desired path. You can also unlock different policies that will enhance your gameplay a little bit, and all in all, this game will keep you busy. And yeah, this sounds all cool, right? Because it is. Game plays very, very well, and as soon as you will launch it, you will start enjoying it quite a lot. All those food productions, all those weapons and resource productions, all this trading will keep you busy quite a lot. But I don't know why it's being missed, but it's important to understand what the early game, mid game, and the late game is in the game like that, and what things are available in this game and what things are not available in this game. Well, first things let's discuss early, mid, and late game. Early game is pretty much fleshed out in this game. You need to build up your town, and you need to prepare the food resources in order to not starve in your first winter. And yeah, it's easier said than done, but it's not that difficult. And yet it is fun. And mid game usually entitles the expansion into different regions, creating additional settlements, and your early skirmishes. And the late game usually should be all-out war with AI opponents and things like that. Well, first things first, early game is fun, and yeah, it will keep you busy. Mid game is okay-ish, because what usually in the games like that is mid game should be unlocking all the different technologies and just prepare and just have everything ready for the late game. But the issue is that not everything is available in the game, meaning that technology trees are not actually fully unlocked because not everything is available. Half of the tech tree is actually locked out in early access. So you're kind of hitting a grinding halt in the mid game, and I'm talking about if you're playing the longer game, like after 3, 4, 5 hours, you just hit the wall, and all you can do is just keep on doing what you have been doing in the beginning, in the early game, over and over and over again. And I'm not even talking about late game, because there are no AI opponents in the game. Yes, there are AI armies in the game, like bandits or your rival armies, but there are not AI opponents. There are no other towns on the map. It's only you. So there's actually no huge attacking enemy cities and taking everything with force. There's nothing like that. Plus, the diplomacy is actually kind of not available almost at all. Even though it looks quite cool, but it's not actually available. The map is actually divided into different regions, and you can declare war for every single region, but nothing else. Even though the other options are actually available, but they're grayed out. Like, for example, trying to purchase it or just negotiating for the control of different regions. You just straight up can fight for them, and when you do, the enemy armies will start appearing from outside of the map and try to take this place that you're disputing, and all you can do is just send your armies there to fight them as well. It's cool for early access game, but yeah, that's just it. And what is another important thing, there are no maps in the game. There's only one single map. At least it was in my version. There is nothing else. Only one single version. One single map. That's it. And when you start playing game, you just start playing in different random regions of that map. Yeah, map is huge. Don't get me wrong. It's very large, but it's only one. Also, I've seen a few reviews and people are saying that game is not buggy, and I have no idea, but mine was. It was nothing extremely frustrating or game breaking, but it kind of was a few times. Well, first things first, a few times when I played, my village was raided by bandits and they killed everyone, they burned everything, and that's just it. Game was not ending, and yeah, I was just stuck right there, and all I could do is just restart the game. And it happened a few times. It was not just one time bug, it was a few times. I've heard that for other people, the bandits would just burn a few buildings and just run away, but for me, they would burn everything, and then nothing would happen. I don't know, maybe it was a bad bug for me. And a few times for me, the crops that I planted, and there was quite a large fields of crops, they would just reset, meaning that right before the harvesting time, the crops would just disappear, and it would look like that the crops were just planted, and that's it. And yeah, it happened a few times, weirdly enough, for me, and this caused for me to lose the game, basically because everyone would starve just because I didn't have enough food. That was very strange. And I'm not even talking about enemy AI or my own troops AI, because they would get stuck often in a terrain, they would just walk in circles and things like that. Yeah, nothing significant to be fair, but the game was quite buggy. And yeah, again, this is expected. I fully expected that. But seeing that not many people are talking about this, it's kind of weird. All in all, did I enjoy this game? I did. And I did quite a lot. If that's amount of features that the early access is launching, I cannot wait what will be when the full game will launch. But it's not there yet. And then one huge thing that was done by devs and publishers that was hugely commendable is that they did not actually open the pre-orders for the game. You cannot pre-order the game. You can only buy when it will release, which is huge thing, which means that they actually care about that, and I can only support that. But do I suggest you buying that? Well, if you want to support amazing game like this and want to support it financially, buy it. Yes, buy it. Even if you will not play it until the full release, buy it just to support it. But if you expect this to be a fully finished game or close to finished game, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people from 3 million wishlists will expect that, please do not buy it just yet. Just wait for the few things being added and some bugs ironed out, because you just dislike the game, write a negative review and never to return it, and you will lose a huge game. So yeah, overall, I do think that this game deserves support, but only with the managed expectations. Please manage them and do not ruin this for everyone just because you were impatient. Yeah, I guess this will be it for today. Oh yeah, and if you like strategy games and you want a huge list of amazing strategy games, you can watch it right here, or you can watch something right here. There's something that YouTube will recommend to you. Oh yeah, and don't forget to subscribe right here as well. Thank you, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Take care.